Hi there, welcome along to Indie Lounge. My name is James. Our guest, Hannah Lee, is a Korean who spent some years in New Zealand. She has a degree majoring, believe it or not, in the violin. She now tours the world sharing her talent and her faith. And she joins us today. Hannah, welcome along to Indie Lounge.
Hello. 안녕하세요.
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 So how old were you when you first started playing the violin?
The classical violin? I was 7.
Okay,
Yes.
So you started with all the scales and things. Did you enjoy it at first, or was it just all hard work?
It was all hard work. It was so hard. Because you see, the violins, they don't have frets like guitars or bass guitars. So I have to get the right pitch every time I hit the same note, you see. And it was all
you
hard
violinists
work.
have got it hard. Us guitarists, we get it easy.
I know. It's unfair.
But at what point did you really start to realize, I could actually have a life with this? This could be meaningful for me.
Well, although it was, hard to practice and learn violin, I just knew from when I was really young that, this was my talent and this was my life. All the way, up until now.
You could never envisage, though, that you'd be touring the world and playing?
No, never.
So what sort of countries have you been to?
So many. New Zealand, Korea, Australia, America, England, Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, China, Japan, Philippines, Indonesia.
You've got this all rehearsed, haven't you?
No, just getting it out of my head now.
Obviously, people love you wherever you go, but is there any place that sticks out in your mind where you've had a real connection with your audience?
Yes, I went to Thailand, not on my own, but with my backing dancers and singers, rappers in the band. And even though I wasn't really, famous as K-pop stars, because we were Koreans, so many people gathered around, more than 1,000 people. We performed outside, and there, we had a total connection. And they were so into K-pop, and they loved us singing and dancing into K-pop music, and singing in Korean. They were so good at Koreans, all of them. They were saying 안녕하세요, 감사합니다 in Korean to us. Wow! And then we had so much fun that night.
So you talked about touring with others, dancers and a band. We've had the privilege of having you solo on the show today. But so normally, you've got a
not normally.
Musicians.
Well, I do solo performance mostly, but in case by case, I do perform with others as well. So imagine me playing the starter and b-boys and dancers dancing along with me.
Wow.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a better picture?
must take quite a lot of work to do all the choreography, and get all the band trained up and everything. Okay, so one of the items I'm sure that you do in concert, Hannah, is a tune called Starter. Now you're going to be performing for that in just a moment. But it's when you were rehearsing, I recognised quite a few of the melodies in there. What are some of the melodies that you've incorporated into this tune called Starter?
For Elise.
Oh, yes.
The famous
I once had
piano tune.
would you believe, a photocopier that played that every time you left the paper underneath it. I loved it until
really?
Until we got that photocopier.
Could you play it on the piano? No?
I couldn't. I could play it on the photocopier. Yeah, so there's a bit of Beethoven there for Elise, yeah.
Yeah, and Jesus Loves Me, this I know.
Wow, very well-known piece of music.
Yes.
So you're going to perform that for us now?
Yes, I will.
So Hannah Lee from Korea via New Zealand is going to be performing for us on the violin her tune Starter here on Indie Lounge. Back with Indie Lounge, and I'm with Hannah Lee. Hannah, your stage show, there's a mixture of violin, there's vocal, there's dance, there's band. It's quite a unique combination. How did you end up with a stage presentation like that?
Well, I was inspired by Vanessa May, who is a world, famous electric violinist. Well, she used to perform with the dancers. I get that idea from her. And since I can sing and rap, I thought, I can put them together.
Rap, did I hear you say?
Yeah.
Violin
Did I hear me rap?
Okay, is this something we're going to hear later on in the show?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. That's for another day.
Yes,
We can just imagine that. Okay.
Yeah.
Very unique combination.
Why do you think it's a unique combination?
I've never seen a violinist rap
that's
before.
right, yeah.
Nigel Kennedy, of course, was the punk violinist. But what sort of reaction do you get?
I mean, that's the point. Like, I'm trying something that nobody has ever tried. Because I believe that Christian musicians Christian artists have to, be more significant than secular artists. So, I was rolling my head, what can I do to beat them? And I said, maybe, combine all the different genres of art together. And, well, I didn't used to sing so well, but then I prayed to God, I have to sing well, I have to sing, give me the talent of singing. And He did. And now I can sing.
Well, we've enjoyed you singing on the show today. You do it very well, so you must have prayed very hard.
Yes, I did.
Well, it's not only stage work, but it's also you've been working in the recording studio.
Oh yes,
as well.
Of course.
I've got this CD here, of course, JC Maniac. We'll hear this later on in the program. Yes. But also you've been working on a new CD as well.
Right. It's called The Promise.
Now that's just new.
It's just new.
New in the stores. Okay. So, how is it more of the same, or are you trying to develop your sound as you go?
Yeah, I am trying to develop my sound. If I were to try hip hop and techno rock. And house music in my first album. K-pop is all about electro now, right? So I try to combine electro with my electric violin. So play into electro music for the first time in the world.
And how do you find the studio environment for playing and for creativity? Does it match up to the buzz of a live performance?
It's totally different. It's a total different world. So when I was recording my first track on my first CD, it took me more than 7 hours.
Wow.
Yes.
Just doing it over and over.
Yes, over and over, because it had to be perfect.
And I guess after a while, you think, you start making mistakes and thinking, gosh, am I ever going to get it right?
Yeah.
You think, I wish I'd kept take one.
But now I got better, and the time of recording is shortening.
Good to hear.
Yep.
Now, so this new CD, The Promise, going to be available on iTunes. Your first iTunes release.
Yes, it will.
so look out for that, Hannah Lee, and The Promise on iTunes. You're going to perform a song for us now. It's both instrumental and vocal. You're going to show off your vocal skills for us.
Not show off. I'm still not that good. But yeah.
But this song is called Can't Live a Day. Where does this song come from?
It was composed by and sung by Avalon. You know them, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I was playing this piece when I went over to Thailand for my ministry. Before I went off to Thailand, I ministered in Laos, and in Laos I hurt my knee and my elbow so bad, so I couldn't walk. So for my first performance in Thailand, I couldn't walk, so I had to sit on a chair and play this piece. And my tears dropped down because as I sang this song, I just realized how weak I am, how weak a human being I am. And I just had to confess that, oh God, I just cannot live, a day, even a day without you. And I was just, but as I played, I thought, I should record this and I should share this with everyone.
So you're going to do that for us now?
Yes.
You're going to sing it and play?
Yes.
So the Avalon song, Can't Live a Day. This is Hannah Lee.
Could live life alone and never feel the longings of my heart, the healing warmth of someone's arms, and I could live without dreams and never know the thrill of what could be, with every star so far and out of reach. I could live without many things, and I could carry on, but I couldn't face my life tomorrow without your hope in my heart. I know I can't live a day without you. Lord, there's no night and there's no morning without your loving arms to hold me. You're the heartbeat of all I do. I can't live a day without you.
Can't Live a Day, song originally recorded by Avalon. That was Hannah Lee here on Indie Lounge. Hannah, thank you for that. Well done.
Thank you.
You're a follower of Jesus Christ now.
Yes.
Wasn't always so for you.
No.
What was life like for you before all that changed?
The owner of my life was myself, not the Lord Jesus Christ.
You and everybody else, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but now the owner of my life is Jesus Christ. And saying that, I played my violin for myself, for my future, my fame and money. But now I play for Him to glorify Him.
So you say that before that you're playing for yourself and now for Jesus. Tell me a little bit about the personal satisfaction. I mean, was there that satisfaction beforehand? Can it compare with how it is now?
Oh yes, of course. Everyone was, clapping and giving me the applause, and after I played, because I was the top in my school, and I really enjoyed that, I think, and I enjoyed getting good grades. I enjoyed performing, before so many people, and I enjoyed the people, admiring at me.
Right.
I think I did that, but now I don't play for myself, and the audience does clap afterwards, but I always tell them, don't clap, for my performance, but to glorify God who made me and who gave me this talent to share with you.
Tell me a little bit about before you became a Christian, a little bit of a rebellious streak, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm Christian of 5th generation. So I was a church goer since I was a baby.
Right.
And even after I moved to New Zealand, I went to church every Sunday, and I was a church leader and all that, but I didn't have the encounter with God, inside me. Well, in my head, I knew that God created the world and Jesus Christ died for me, but I didn't actually feel it inside, you see. So I enjoyed my life, and I lived my life according to my will, which included going to clubs and sneaking out at night, going drinking and smoking and all that. Yeah, was that rebellious and wagging a lot? And even sneaking, back to Korea on my own without telling anybody.
Back to Korea.
Yes.
I can imagine that phone call. Mum, Dad, where are you? I'm in Seoul. But now there was a sore arm, I believe, that helped to change things for you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. 3 days before my at university, second year final recital, I was practicing really hard on my violin for the exam. 3 days before, my arm was paralyzed like this.
Really?
Yeah.
You realize that that's a serving position, bringing in the tray.
Yes.
Maybe God was trying to tell you something.
But it's the position of me violin playing.
Ah, yes. Frozen.
Yeah, paralyzed, just like this.
So what happened?
I don't know. Nobody knows.
And then after that, did you actually get to do your final performance?
No. I couldn't. It was a death sentence for me because nobody could cure my arm. Well, I got the paralysis gone after I got the acupuncture here, and then the pain didn't go away. And I tried everything, including chiropractor and physiotherapist, everything, but nobody and none of the skills could heal my arm. So last option I had was to pray to God, because in my head I knew that He created me. So it's my last option. So let's pray to God. And that was the first time I actually prayed to God with my heart, with everything in me. God, if you're there, please hear me out and listen to my prayer. Please heal my arm. And then through prayer every morning, 5 a.m. in the morning, I went to church and prayed to God, and He said, Hannah, I love you just the way you are, and I've been waiting for you. Yeah, I could actually hear His voice.
Fantastic.
And that was when I started changing the title of my prayer. Well, God, I'm so sorry that I lived my life according to my will. I ignored you. I'm sorry. I didn't seek you. And then I confessed all my sins, and I'm not going to go back to my life before. And then I prayed for 2 years every day. And then God healed my arm miraculously through our pastor from Korea. We had a rally in my church, and on the second night, the pastor said, tonight is a healing night. So if you believe, then God will heal you. And then suddenly my arm was healed, and then I could get back to my violin playing again.
So, what do they call that? The musical break in the music? It's not a coda, is it? It's
I don't know what they call
anyway,
it.
was a intermezzo or something? You know,
Intermezzo,
in your
okay.
life, yeah. But so it's interesting that God didn't focus in initially on healing you so you could play. He focused in on relationship, personal.
That's right, personal relationship.
That's really interesting. So now, 2 CDs down now, you know, that everything's turned around, the focus is now on God. When you're performing, obviously you're not just singing and playing. There must be a little bit of a message too. What do you tell your audience?
Well, I share this testimony with the audience, and the ultimate message is to believe in God and go to heaven together. Accept Jesus Christ as your Savior, and go to heaven.
Have you been aware of any response from the audience? People coming up to ask questions or responding to your message?
Many. I performed before many non-Christians as well. And through Facebook or a social network, I talk to them, because it's really hard for them to actually come to me.
Right.
Yeah. So through that, you know, they say, I heard your testimony. I never thought, you know, God was alive, but after I heard your testimony, there possibly could be God. Please tell me more about God. Who's Jesus? How can I go to church? You know, that stuff.
It's interesting that the contact that they find you on Facebook, that they're serious. And
they're serious.
It's incredible that you're then able to connect with them, with them afterwards.
Nowadays, it's really easy to, you know, get in touch.
So the internet actually being used for something good for a change.
Yes, that's originally what God wanted.
And also for marketing your music.
Yes.
And of course, so that second CD is called The Promise, available on iTunes. Looking forward to that.
Yes.
So head along there and download that on iTunes. You're going to play a final piece for us. Now, this is your showstopper, Hannah. It is called JC from the CD JC Maniac.
That's right, first one.
What sort of effect does this tune have live?
I asked God, what tune can I play? Please give me the idea and give me the tune. And, you know, instantly he gave me this main tune. And then I started writing the piece, and I finished writing in 2 hours. God gave me all those ideas and tunes. So I named it JC, which stands for Jesus Christ. When I performed before the audience, I asked the audience to yell out JC like this after I play every time after I play the main tune. And then they all go, JC, JC. Even to the non-Christians, non-believers, like I asked them to do it, not telling them that it stands for Jesus Christ. And without knowing what it means, they yell out, JC, Jesus Christ. You know, isn't it cool?
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So God gave me this idea.
Next week you have them singing Alleluia before they know it. Okay, so you're going to perform that for us now?
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Hannah, and thank you for sharing
so
your heart
much.
and your story.
Thank you for having me here. I really enjoyed the time.
And that CD is called The Promise. Hannah Lee, our guest today on Indie Lounge, and here is her showstopper. This is called JC.